Hey guys, welcome to my postpartum journey. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. If you're new here, my name is Halle and I'm a new mom. I became a mom on May 31st. And today's video is going to be my 1 and 2 week postpartum update. I would like to start doing postpartum updates weekly and then also have some videos dedicated to postpartum reviews and just things that have helped me in my postpartum journey, because I honestly feel like postpartum is something a lot of people don't talk about. People celebrate the pregnancy, the baby, but then they kind of keep postpartum on the back burner, or they just don't really bring light to the subject just because it is such a personal time. And so that's one reason I want to put this on my channel, because everybody who has a baby goes through postpartum and there's really not a lot of content on it. So I'm going to be doing that. It'll be a new playlist, so if you guys watch my playlist, there will be a postpartum one starting with this video. I would also like to make a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, a doula, a midwife, any of that stuff. I'm literally a 20-year-old girl who had a baby for the first time, and this is just my input, my opinions, my recommendations, so take it with a grain of salt. So to start out, postpartum is definitely not what I expected. I honestly expected it to be a lot harder, and I know that some people have really hard postpartums, and so for those people, I send you the best wishes and I hope that everything gets better for you. So before I start this video, I do want to say that if you're not a girl or you're not pregnant or you've not had a baby, this video might be a little TMI because it is about postpartum stuff. So I just wanted to put that out there. To start out, I have a little list on my iPad here I'll just kind of read off of. I actually felt really empowered with how I looked after I had Magnolia. So obviously when you have a baby, your uterus has to shrink back down, and I'm really happy that I had found some YouTubers that talked about this before I had her, because otherwise I probably would have had a panic attack, because you literally look pregnant for a couple of days after you have your baby. But I had her and I looked at my postpartum belly and I was I am so amazed at what my body just accomplished. I made her for 9 months, I went through labor and delivery with her, and then my body has to recover. And so if you ever feel down about the way you look after you have a baby, don't, because it is seriously so freaking awesome that you can even accomplish this miracle that happens. And so I'll put a transition after I'm done talking about my belly and stuff. I've been taking a picture every single morning when I wake up from the day I had her. So my first picture I took was 12 hours after I gave birth to her, and then I've been taking a picture every single morning. And guys, it made me cry when I was putting together a collage of it, because every single day you can see your body change so much, and it's just kind of it's just so amazing to me that we're able to make babies, and then our body just goes through this transformation. So I am gonna put how my body is transformed, and I'm going to keep doing that until I'm 3 months out, just to kind of see how I'm changing and how I'm looking, and it honestly also kind of motivates me oh, I am losing the weight, or my belly is going back to the size that it was, and just it was really encouraging to me. So if you're about to have a baby, I highly encourage taking pictures every single morning when you wake up, because you will see the drastic change every single day. So I'll put that here. The next little thing I wanted to talk about was I'm not breastfeeding. I will have a whole video on why I decided not to breastfeed, but ultimately it was the best decision for me, my baby, and my family. But I did not know, if you don't breastfeed, your milk still comes in. So I had her on a Sunday. My milk didn't come in until the following Thursday. But when it did come in, I literally woke up and my boobs were literally, it felt like giant rocks, and that's exactly how it felt like they were just so hard and they hurt so much. And obviously I wasn't breastfeeding, so I wasn't pumping, I wasn't trying to get the milk out. I just kind of had to let it sit like that. And honestly, when my milk came in, it was more painful for me and my boobs in my back than having her was. And I swear on everything, it was more painful than labor and delivery was. But that was also my experience because I'm not breastfeeding. But I did find something that ended up helping. I got No More Milk tea from Earth Mama. I'll put it right here what it looks like. And I was drinking 3 cups of that every single day to dry up my milk supply because I wasn't needing it. And so that really helps me with that. So if you guys do decide not to breastfeed, your milk still will come in. And that was just something I was not prepared for. I was not prepared for my back to hurt as much as it did due to my milk coming in. The next thing I have to talk about is so embarrassing. So the first week of my postpartum was not as hard as I thought it was gonna be. So I kind of like overexerted myself, and the second week was honestly kind of harder for me because the first week I was like, oh, I'm fine. Like, I don't understand like why people feel like they get hit by a truck after they have a baby and all this stuff. And I was just like trying to go back to everyday life. And so then the second week I was like, oh my gosh, I overexerted myself. I'm exhausted. But my biggest issue the first week was not pain from having the baby. It was not anything like that. It was the fact that I could not control my pee. I literally peed my pants. I peed my pants the first week probably like 5 times a day because like every single time I would stand up, I would literally just pee myself. All right, sorry about that. We're moving positions because my foot fell asleep, so I'm gonna stand up. The first week, I literally peed my pants like 5 times a day because every time I would stand up, I would literally pee myself because I had no bladder control whatsoever. And part of that I know is because I had a catheter because I did have an epidural, which I also did not know that if you have an epidural, you have to get a catheter. So if you're gonna have an epidural, they're gonna put a catheter in you. But that was really hard for me because anytime we would go anywhere, like I felt like I couldn't drink anything because I didn't want to stand up and like pee myself. And like when we went and saw family and stuff, I was like, I can't drink anything because I do not want to pee myself in front of my entire family and just like our friends and everything. But that leads into my next point, to stay hydrated, because what happened to me was when we did go like visit people, I like didn't drink anything, and so then I got kind of dehydrated and I have stitches because like I had a baby, and it basically made my pee more acidic, and so that hurt. And like that was the first time my pee ever hurt after I had her. Was the Saturday after I had her, we went to Kyle and I's hometown to like visit family. I like did not drink anything the entire day because I did not want to pee myself. Like I was so like worried about it. And when we got home that night, when I like started to pee and stuff, like it hurt so bad, but it's because I didn't stay hydrated. And whether you're breastfeeding or not, you need to drink so much water. That was the only day I made that mistake, so I fixed the problem kind of before the problem started. That is some advice I have for you guys. Do not let yourself get dehydrated because it will burn your stitches. The next thing, you guys can obviously tell I have a rash on my face. So I have horrible allergies. I have a fructose intolerance, so anytime I eat high fructose corn syrup, like I'll break out because it's like in everything, so it's really hard to completely cut out of my diet. But I have seasonal allergies. I have like allergies to certain like fragrances and detergents and all this stuff. I'm literally allergic to so much stuff, guys. But after I had her, I like broke out into this allergy rash, and I've been putting like allergy cream on it and stuff, and it's just like not getting better. And so like I don't really know if this is a postpartum thing, but if anybody else has allergies and you break out, like that might happen after you have a baby. I don't really know. They're not pimples because like I can't pop them, and like I have had allergy rashes on my face before. So I thought that that was something that was kind of different that I didn't know would happen. And I also don't even know if it correlates with having a baby. It just happened that this popped up after I had her, so they might not even go together. I don't really know. But if you guys do have allergies and you break out into a rash, it happened to me too, so I don't really know. Next thing going into it is just take it slow. I kind of touched on this already. The first couple days, I definitely overdid it just because I did not feel as bad as I thought I was going to. So I was like, oh, this is fine. Like, I'm going to feel great. Like, this is going way better than I thought it was going to go. But then one day I forgot to take my medicine that they gave me. They gave me like pain meds to take every 8 hours. And one day I was like, oh, I'm just not going to take it. Like, whatever. Like, I'm feeling fine. I felt miserable, guys. Oh my gosh. I felt horrible. So then I did take my medicine. But now I'm feeling like I'm 2 weeks out from having a baby, and I feel honestly basically back to normal, besides the fact that like my belly is not where I want it to be and all of that stuff. But I definitely have a weight loss journey that needs to happen because I gained 62 pounds while I was pregnant. I'm 5'3", so that definitely shows on my face, on my legs, all that stuff. I have stretch marks on like my sides just because like I did gain so much weight while I was pregnant. So if you guys do gain a lot of weight while you're pregnant, like there's nothing wrong with you. Like it happens. You had a baby, who cares? Like you're doing great and all that stuff. I'm not like super concerned about losing the weight right now because my biggest priority is taking care of Magnolia, and my belly is like shrinking pretty quickly, and that's like the part that I didn't want to be like heavier than it was before, because like my legs are bigger, but like that doesn't really bother me as much as like my stomach did. The other thing that happened to me was the first week I had horrible anxiety. Like I didn't want anyone to touch my baby. I wanted to be the only person to hold her. I thought if anybody else fed her, they were gonna do it wrong. I didn't want to leave her alone with anybody, because the first week we met my family and Kyle's parents came to see us, and both my parents and his parents like let us go out for a date night, which was super nice, and I highly recommend doing it because you do need to get used to not being with your baby 24/7, and it was really nice just to have some like alone time with him and stuff. But like I was like so anxious the whole time. I was like, I'm not with her, like I'm not taking care of her, like I hope everything's going okay. And we would like be out somewhere, and I would just like go through my phone and like look at pictures of her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I miss her so much. Like I wonder what she's doing, like what's going on. And so my anxiety was really high the first week, but the second week it was better. And this past weekend I went to a bridal shower. That was the longest I have ever been away from her. I was away from her for almost 3 hours, and it went better. So like it's getting better. So my anxiety has calmed down. But if you have anxiety in the first week, it's completely normal because you're not getting a lot of sleep. You know, you're a new mom, you have hormones and all that stuff. So that was just kind of hard for me to deal with, was just like I had some attachment issues, and I just did not want anybody else to have her. I just wanted to be the only one to take care of her. But I do have really supportive family, and like obviously they take care of her like super fine and everything. It was just kind of me being paranoid about like, I'm her mom, I need to be the one taking care of her. Moving on to the next thing. So sleep hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be, because when people talk about having a newborn, they talk about like, oh my gosh, I'm never sleeping, I'm never getting sleep, like all this stuff. So I think part of the reason that hasn't been as bad for me is because I'm not breastfeeding. Kyle and I can take turns feeding her. But like with sleep and stuff, we could kind of switch who was feeding her and everything, so that helped. The hardest part about sleep is you feed your baby every 3 hours or whatever schedule you're on. I have her on a pretty strict eating schedule just because I want her to have a routine. I want to be in a routine, and then I want her to sleep good through the night, like when it's time for that. So I've been very strict on her eating schedule. So that has been hard. I have not slept longer than like an hour and a half to 2 hours at a time, but I'm getting sleep throughout the day, so I don't like feel super tired. It's just kind of like a new type of sleep schedule. It's just not, I'm not sleeping for like 6 hours at a time at night. I'm sleeping like an hour and a half here or 2 hours here. But yeah, that kind of wraps up my postpartum update. I plan to do these every single week just to kind of keep up with you guys and connect with other postpartum moms, just because I feel like this is something that's not talked about a lot. I plan on having a video on postpartum like product review, a why I'm not breastfeeding video, and a mental health video, because mental health is like a huge thing during postpartum. But this video, I just kind of wanted to update you guys on how my first 2 weeks went. I hope it wasn't too much of a mess. But this is my cute little sleeping baby, Magnolia. She's literally perfect. She honestly is such a good baby. I adore being a mom. Like I would do it all over again. Like I honestly feel like I was meant to be a mom. Like I love taking care of her. I love watching her grow, feeding her. Everything I've had to deal with like pregnancy and postpartum, like it is totally worth it. I absolutely love having her. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to stay updated on me, Magnolia, my postpartum journey, just like baby stuff. I'm going to be adding some more beauty stuff really soon because I am doing prom hair this weekend. So I'm super excited to get back to doing hair. If you guys are new here, I'm currently going to school to like be a hairstylist, and it's been a really long time since I've made like a beauty video, just because my school shut down when the pandemic happened, and then I had a baby, so now I'm on like a leave of absence. And so I'm super excited to get back into doing beauty related content also. So if you guys are interested in me and my life, please subscribe and stick around, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.